Hello, everyone. I'm going to make a few announcements and then I'm going to go into the information I have for us today. It's from a book called Mind Weapon. Very good information. And something I can relate to is the symptoms of direct energy weapons. So I'm going to kind of jump around in this presentation and I'm going to show you the symptoms that a lot of y'all can relate to. I know you can if you're really getting hit with weapons. My announcements first, though, are number one, watch out for people creating YouTube channels acting like TIs. They may put one or two things about TIs on there and then try to engage in conversations in the comments to my viewers. Use your discernment wisely. Um, because the people are creating accounts trying to act like TIs, trying to infiltrate, uh, and I've just noticed it. And any real TI can pick out if somebody's a real TI. So you might see, oh, I'm dealing with that too. They'll comment on that. I'm dealing with that too, and they'll make a couple comments. Then they'll reach out and try to connect with some of my viewers who comment all the time. Then they're going to try to infiltrate and do all that. So I say this to say that. I mean, there was a target the other day, and I'm not saying he wasn't a target, but he just contacted me straight up. I didn't know him, never met him. He wouldn't give me his real name. And he said, "Hook me up with your TI friends." And I just can't do that, you know. I don't. If I know you're a real TI, I'll hook you up with TI friends. But unless I know for 100% fact you're real, I'm not letting. I'm not letting. I'm not hooking nobody up with no TI friends. And I'm not talking about hook up boyfriend girlfriend. I'm talking about I'm not connecting nobody with my TI friends unless I know 100% they're real. And um uh there was a girl that seemed real, but she wouldn't give her name. And I was like, look, I can, you know, I think this girl was real. And I was like, well, if you don't give your name, how's it going to look if I try to tell a TI friend, hey, look, here's this person needs somebody to talk to, you know what I'm saying? So there's a very thin line, just like I don't promote organizations, targeting organizations on my show. I just don't. Um, my podcast, whatever you want to call it. And the reason I don't is because, if I promote, let's just say targeted justice, for instance, and I'm not downing them or nothing like that. I'm just saying, if I promote targeted justice on my website, they end up doing somebody wrong, it falls back on me. Everybody's going to be mad at me. So I don't do that promotion stuff. I don't connect TIs unless I know for a fact you're a real TI. Um, Anyway, just watch out for that stuff. I'm rambling now. Watch out for that stuff. It's been going on. A lot of people have been scheduling interviews, um, claiming to be TIs, and then you get in the interview and you're asking them questions. And so if you want to do an interview, uh, please send me some information about yourself, about your targeting, what you've been through, because I can ask a few questions, and I'm not going to say what they are for all these people that are watching, trying to figure out how to fake being a TI. But anyway, there's certain questions a TI can answer that they can be dead sure about if certain answers get made. And then one more thing before I get into this information, somebody under Fruit and Oil Ministries commented, "You're turning this into a Jesus channel." No, he was a TI. He came on, gave his interview, gave his testimony. That's how he deals with it. I'm a follower of Christ too, so of course, being a follower of Christ, the conversation struck up, and we had a conversation about God. That's all. Uh, I'm here to help TIs. I'm here to expose this program, interview TIs. I judge by character and heart. I don't judge by what you believe in. None of that. So if you want to come on and do an interview and talk about what helps you cope, I'm not going to judge you if it's not about Jesus. I don't do that. I don't think I'm no better than nobody else. I'm just a target suffering. Right now, they're telling me I'd be better off dead. Um, they've been telling me that since 8:52 this morning. I had severe vertigo earlier, off balance, um, just crazy stuff I deal with every day. I really just don't, I don't talk about my stuff anymore because it just gives perp satisfaction. And, I used to do it all the time. Sometimes I'll go on Twitter and put documentation just for documentation purposes only. But I don't like talking about my target and giving the satisfaction no more like I used to. But anyway, so no, it's not turning into a religious channel. I am a follower of Christ, however, and I'll be a follower of Christ till I die, but I don't judge other people's beliefs. I judge people's characters and their heart. But yeah, be careful about fake TIs trying to say, they'll usually say, though, under one of my targets TI friends comments, they may say, "Oh, I'm dealing with that too." And then you go to their YouTube, there's nothing on, and I'm not saying you have to have anything on YouTube to be a TI, but you can see sometimes they even have a YouTube made that day. Look at the date of the YouTube, what time they joined YouTube. I mean, that don't mean nothing in a big thing, but TIs know what I'm talking about. Real TIs know what I'm talking about right now. Please be careful. I'm letting you know it's going on. All right, now let's get into information. I'm going to share the screen. This is really good information. Okay. Okay. Mind control weapon. All right, so it's going to start with basic stuff and get into the good meat of the subject. Very good information. All right, now look. But first, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to read these things off to start out. According to anonymous survey, this was done December 19th, 2009. Wish it was done later, but it wasn't. Interesting though. 296 victims all over the world. 130 females, 166 males. 71% of all victims had completed a college degree, with 14% of all victims attaining a master's degree and doctorate's degree. And I'm not saying you have to have that to be a TI, because you absolutely do not have to have that. I guess they just wanted to interview people. I don't know. Symptoms victims experienced as a possible result. Listen to this: hot and cold flashes. I get it all the time. I go through 2 or 3 hats a day in the freezer. Nausea. Go through it all the time. Got tons of Zofran over there. Zofran's good for the nausea. Sometimes it don't work when they're hitting you hard. Severe sweating, all the time. Induced sleep, a lot. Sleep deprivation, uh, sometimes. That like inducing sleep on us, so we can't watch movies together and stuff like that. Plus, uh, sleep's good for mind control technology to work. Sleep deprivation's good for mind control. So both of them, I can see why both of them are 4 and 5. Extreme fatigue, all the time. I'm telling you, I took garlic for a month and a half straight. Every morning, 2 cloves. You press 2 cloves, you let it sit 8 minutes, then you swallow it. You want to do it when you first wake up on an empty stomach. Do it for 2 weeks. Tell me what happens. Tell me if you don't feel better. Tell me if it don't lessen the attacks. And you know why I'm thinking it lessens the severity of the attacks is due to the heavy metals. It's a detox for heavy metals. Blurred vision, sensations of pain. I've had blurred vision. Sensations of pain in internal organs. Sensations of pain in back on bone, arms, legs, muscles. Numbness and tingling. Loss of sensation. I've had all this. Vibrations, muscle cramps, spasms, tensions, sudden headaches, irregular heartbeat. Does this sound familiar? False heart attacks. Brian too's been suffering from that a lot. So is my friend Andrew. Please pray for them both. Tooth pain. I used to have that. There was a certain TI I used to talk to who was really helping me out when I was in Pensacola. Every time I would talk to her, my teeth would be shocked the whole conversation until I hung up the phone. Needless to say, I lost a couple because of that. Diarrhea. I know a bunch of TIs that deal with that. Acute inflammation and autoimmunity reactions, 25%. Autoimmune disorders like fibromyalgia, 17%. Urinary tract infections, 18%. Skin problems and skin irritations, 50%. Um, let's see. Change in growth of hair and nails. Female problems which lead to hysterectomy, 8%. Cancer, 4%. Fevers, 23%. Flu-like symptoms, sneezing, 43%. Dizziness, loss of balance, 55%. Now, I deal with that all the time too, especially when my V2K is really, really ramping up. Sudden loss of conscious, 31%. Malignant tumors, 8%. Sensation of electric current running through body, As soon as I close my eyes, anytime I close my eyes, I experience that. 54%. Induced thoughts, telepathic communication, 65%. Hearing voices, 68%. Seeing holograms, 42%. Dream manipulation, 71%. I've experienced all this stuff. I know you have too if you're watching your real TI. Artificial emotions, induced fear, anger, shame, joy, sadness, 68%. Sudden, unexpected sexual arousal, 54%. Genital manipulation, 55%. Induced smells. A lot of people complain about that. They've done that and made me think gas was all in the car and it was going to blow up. That's 52%. Sudden extreme mood swings, depression, euphoria, 48%. Induced pleasure aversion reaction towards people or objects, 45%. Making you say things, forced speech, 46%. General behavior control in some situations, 50%. Manipulation of memory, 67%. Remote steering of eye movements, 39%. Remote steering of body movements, 43%. Virtual reality experiences while awake, 35%. 50% of all victims have been forced to accept psychiatric treatment. All right, now I'm going to go back up and start my video. I just wanted to read that. All right, here we go. The term mind control means covert attempts to influence the thoughts and behavior of human beings against their will or without their knowledge. We all know this. The term psychotronic torture comes from psychological and electronic. This is actually a very sophisticated form of remote technology that slowly invalidates and incapacitates a person. These invisible and non-traceable technological assaults on human beings are being done in order to destroy someone's psychology and physiology. The human body, much like a computer, contains myriad data processors. They include, but are not limited to, the chemical, electrical activity of the brain, heart, peripheral nervous system, the signals sent from the cortex region of the brain to other parts of the body, the tiny hairs in the inner ear that processes auditory signals, and the light-sensitive retina and cornea of the eye that process visual activity. We are on the threshold of an era in which these data processors of the human body may be manipulated or debilitated. Definition of psychotronic weapons. This is the totality of all possible methods, technogenic, suggestive, pharmacological, paranormal, complexes, others, of hidden, forced influences on the psyche of a person for the purpose of modifying his conscious behavior, health, for what is desired in the way of influence and aspects of control. This is not only dangerous, this is deadly. They use Echelon, Tempest, microchips, implants, see-through wall radar, obtain informants, neighbors. This is the first phase they're talking about, but this is really going into some deep stuff. All right, now, this is, hold on. They just turned that phone on. They just tried to make a video come on during that thing on my phone out of the blue. Subliminal messaging research development plan just came up on my phone out of the blue, just cut on. Okay, so the first phase is harassment surveillance program. Oh yeah, they've been hanging up my calls. They got this thing on the screen where if I try to call somebody, it says radio off. And I got screenshots if you'd like to see them. They use Echelon, Tempest, through the wall radar, obtain informants, neighbors, co-conspirators to harass, discredit, harm individual. Victims lose families, jobs, homes, cars. Ultimate goal, destroy a person's life. We all know that. The second phase is assaults of direct energy weapons. After a victim becomes isolated from everyone in the world, the victim now has feelings of regret, remorse, loss, trauma, drained and broken emotionally and physically. During this time, many have been implanted. Many experience extreme pain to their heads. Some hear voices. And he's going to get into telling you you don't need implants anymore. The pain's delivered to various parts of the body. The pain's delivered by DEWs. Some weapons known as non-lethal weapons use weapons as ELF, acoustics, harmonics, ultrasound, microwave pulse, radio frequencies, etc. Tactics are being psyop tactics are being used against to destroy jobs, family lives. Perpetrators will stop at nothing. They're objects to utterly destroy a person, resulting in the person taking his own life or ending up in the mental hospital. This has been taking place for years, nothing said about it. This is extremely distressing, painful, and invasive. Feels like one's mind and body is undergoing constant rape 24 hours a day. Technology used to do this unknown, but hundreds of victims report same physical sensations. And this goes in the Human Brain Project using high form High-performing exascale supercomputers allow research to advance knowledge in the field of neuroscience. Um, anyway, the BRAIN Initiative is a partnership between federal and non-federal partners with a common goal of accelerating the development of neurotechnologies. Through application and dissemination of these scientific advancements, research will be able to produce a revolutionary new dynamic picture of the brain. And we're going to go on to the meat of this. Okay, let's see, that's the BRAIN Initiative timeline. I wish I could, I don't know if y'all hear them sirens, but that don't mean nothing. Maybe if it is somebody in trouble, Lord help them. I don't know if y'all can see this BRAIN Initiative timeline. Anyway, you can pause it and look at it real quick if you'd like. And I'll put the link to this in here in the thing. Symptoms suffered by target individuals. And here's the symptoms. I'm gonna slowly scroll through, and then I'm gonna get to the good part of this, as far as good information that hasn't been repeated over and over again. It says perverted psychopaths are secretly, illegally conducting non-consensual sadistic telepathy experiments on hundreds of thousands of civilians. The Pentagon, let's see, DoD, DARPA, DHS, all these programs. COINTEL counterintelligence has experienced top secret technology that can pick up private thoughts given by individuals in the vibrations produced by brain's electrical impulses. Thoughts can be broadcast by means of microwave transceivers, impulses, infrasound, ultrasound transceivers, satellites, any form of technology which uses electromagnetic transfer, your television, radio, internet, telephone. Pentagon calls this mind-reading technology synthetic telepathy, although there's nothing paranormal about it at all. This is part of the U.S. Department of Defense, a very secretive part of that. NSA has a black budget. It's always headed by a flag officer from one branch of the military. The top secret technologies available is usually 30 or maybe even more advanced to the general public. Okay, the headquarters, okay. Today there are microscopic smart dots based on nanotechnology, which can mean into a person without knowledge. These microscopic anyway, that's old. Now he's saying with the latest top secret rapid technological advancement available to the U.S. military agencies, the need for implants and conducting synthetic telepathy against a targeted persons is obsolete by now. Rather, a system of subliminal, subconscious, wireless microwave remote control is used today against TIs suffering from synthetic telepathy harassment. It's used for conducting torture, training, or experimentation against people as red herring, good cop, bad cop, tough love acting, diversions, feints, decoys, smoke screens, and smear campaigns by association, as openly secret intimidation campaigns against TI dissidents, means of espionage. Once it was believed that claims about CIA agents secretly dumping radioactive material in the slums of U.S. cities during the 50s as part of a research project were simply mass conspiracy theories, until 1990s publicly admitted the allegation was true. These agents who are part of secret U.S. society are genetically inclined sociopaths, psychopaths, work at hitmen, torture, sexual abusers, stalkers, slanders, and agent provocateurs involved in murders and torture of hundreds of thousands of innocent U.S. citizens for years and years. Last count, there were 50,000 spies who are businessmen, priests, community leaders, all in walks of life, keeping tabs on pretty much all Americans. The emotions and silent words of victims of operators can be broadcast against their will to anyone they choose to broadcast to. They also have the power to block or censor any emotions, words of victims which they do not want to be broadcast. They can also place their own criminal, antisocial emotions, words into the victims by subliminal, subconscious, remote control, microwave brainwashing technology. They can change the voice behind the words to make it appear as the targeted victim, not themselves, who are communicating by means of synthetic telepathy. They can also make you hear anybody they want you to hear. You got to remember they have a database with all these calls logged in, and they can clone any voice from, everybody who makes a call. The call goes into a supercomputer. It's recorded, believe it or not. Now they're not going to admit to that, but Snowden even admitted to it. So what they do is they'll get the voice cloned so they can make it sound like anybody. They can change. All right. They can store emotions silently through words onto a supercomputer memory bank. They can read broadcasts at a later time. Although having, I believe, operators, although having high IQ, are predisposed toward sociopathic behavior because of a genetic defect. Defect. That's what he believes. If you do not believe it exists, you should look at the following websites, and I don't think he's got any websites in here because it was took out of the book. I urge the readers to print and save. I wish it was there. I would share it if it was. Um, all right, see. Important things from the above link: other people to educate and protect their loved ones against non consensual psychopathic experiment, attack, torture by. Okay, here we go. It says NSA has records on all citizens. They gather information on citizens with over 50,000 NSA agent spies. You might say, I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing either. But still, they gather information. They have personnel in the community, have cover identities, social workers, priests, church leaders, lawyers, business owners, can control the lives of thousands of individuals by using the network cover business. This Dom Intelligence, Domestic Intelligence Network cover business covers the entire U.S., involves tens of thousands of personnel, and tracks millions of persons simultaneously. It has the ability to assassinate citizens covertly or run covert psychological operations to call them to be diagnosed with mental health. At present time, it has nanotechnology computers that are 15 years ahead of the present computer technology. Other other stuff can be put in victims' bodies painless without their knowing, a matter of minutes. Generated brain mapping can continuously monitor all electrical activity in the brain continuously. For surveillance purposes, electrical activity in the speech center of the brain can be translated into the subject's verbal thoughts. Operatives can use this covertly to debilitate subjects by simulating auditory hallucinations, characteristics of paranoid schizophrenia. Without any contact with the subject, R&M, remote neural monitoring, can map out electrical activity from the visual cortex of a subject's brain and show images from the subject's brain on a video monitor. Operatives see what the surveillance subject's eyes are seeing. Visual memory can also be seen. R&M can send images to the visual cortex, bypassing the eyes and the optical nerves. NSA operatives can use this surreptitiously to put images into a surveillance subject's brain while they are in an R&M sleep for brain programming purposes. Fort Meade has placed a vast two-way R&M system which is used to track subjects and monitor audio-visual information in their brains. This is all done with no contact with the subject. R&M is the ultimate method of surveillance and domestic intelligence. Speech, 3D sound, subliminal audio can be sent to the audio cortex of the subject's brain. Bypassing the ears, it can alter a subject's perceptions, moods, motor control, and it repeated the same thing there for some reason. The proprietary ability to monitor remotely, non-invasively information in the human brain by digitally decoding the evoked potentials in the 30 to 50 gigahertz, 30 to 50 hertz, 5 milliwatt electromagnetic emissions from the brain. Remote monitoring tracking in any location, any building, anywhere in the country. Can electronically identify individuals and track them anywhere. Tens of thousands of persons working as spotters, checking on subjects who've been identified for covert control. How they cripple murdered own citizens. God only knows how many unsolved murder diseases are committed and spread by them. Chemical drugs in the residential buildings with hidden NSA installed maintain plastic plumbing lines. They have kits for running lines in the residential tap water, air ducts, subject for delivery of drugs. Victims experience daily break-ins in their homes. Okay, let me see. Gerald Solsby. Gerald Solsby wrote that. Okay. These are some quotes from some other people, and then I'll be done. I think I've said enough, and once I'm done, I really think this is a lot to digest, but I think I might go. Oh, all right, I'm gonna go all the way down. So I'm gonna read a couple more paragraphs, and I'll be done. All right, so here we go. All right, 2016 Havana Syndrome. I hate Havana Syndrome because it's a misrepresentation of what's really going on. Thousands of innocent people. Oh yeah, the information I just read was from Gerald Soulsby. Okay, 2016, 2017 Havana Syndrome. this has been going on a long time before Havana, so I wouldn't call it Havana syndrome. I hate the name for it. I think it was a psyop term, just to slam another downer into a TI's face. Events occur, American, Canadian, but we all know what happened in Havana. Um, and they care about diplomats, but what about ordinary people? Okay, 2017, James Giordano, self-described neuroweaponist, DARPA consultant, neuroscience professor, Georgetown Medical University, stated in a lecture delivered to military personnel. He's speaking of a future at most only decades away. In experimental intelligence control, I foresee a time when we shall have the means, therefore inevitably, the temptation to manipulate the behavior, intellect, functioning of all the people through environmental biochemical manipulation of the brain. And he quoted Zygmunt Brzezinski. He said that in 1972. Imagine that. This potential for manipulation of behavior and intellectual functioning through manipulation of brain, which he predicted in his 1970 book, Between Two Ages, America's Role in the Technotronic Era, has now been realized 40 years later. They can do it. The brain's the next battle space. We're targeting the brain. Like in any race, the morbidity and mortality going at this speed with a level of integrity, this level of momentum is real. We are tracking neurological or brain signals of key TIs that are thought to represent whole groups. If I understand how his or her brain works and do this on a broad enough scale, I can develop patterns. I can use this in ways that informs my intelligence. This force multiplies and synergizes my human intelligence, my signals intelligence, and my communications intelligence, and neurointelligence coupled with assessment access gives me these capabilities. I can utilize neuropharmacologies and various forms of brain stimulation to extract information from key intelligent targets. We're targeting the brain. Let's see. Let's see. We're targeting the brain, and we need to recon my target area well in order to acquire viable targets, avoid collateral damage. To do this, we use a number of assessment technology, neuroimaging, computerized tomography, single photon emission, um, pulse, a highly specific electromagnetic pulse signal to image brain areas, image tracks in a directional way in rapid time. Neurophysiological recordings such as EEGs in combination with quantitative techniques. Neurogenomics and genetics, looking at genetic profiles of individuals and groups to see what genes are coding for certain structures or functions of the brain. Neurocyber informatics. So I'm going to go down here to this last thing, and I'll be done. Um, this is about your body being used to mine cryptocurrency. Okay, let's see if I can find it. If I can't find it, um, I'll just end the video. But so bear with me just 1 second because I know it's right here. Okay. Cryptocurrency system using human body activity associated with a task provider to a user may be used in a mining process of cryptocurrency system. A server may provide a task to a device of a user which is communicatively coupled to the server. A sensor communicatively coupled or compromised or comprised in the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. Body activity data may be generated based on the sense body activity of the user. The cryptocurrency system communicatively coupled to the device of the user may verify if the body activity data satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency system. And award cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity is verified. And this patent is from Microsoft's patent, body activity to cryptocurrency. And the patent number is 060606. Cryptocurrency system using body activity. Imagine, I wonder why they put 060606. Imagine that. That's weird. All right, this patent indicates that the mind control neuroweapon system technology has been tested, deployed against TIs over the past 7 decades, are now going to be rolled out on larger populations to completely surveil, monitor, reward, punish, control human beings. In effect, anyone targeted can be remotely tortured, terrorized, or eliminated with these technologies. The fact that cryptocurrency technologies are combined with these electronic control systems indicates that the plan is for humans to be converted to bio robotized slaves, that is cyborgs. The technologies identified in this patent, especially those in bold letters, compromise weapon systems that have been developed in top secret black projects by government, military agencies, corporate sector over the past 70 years. Taxpayers pay for these technologies, and many millions of innocent civilians have been and are secretly being used as non-consensual human experiments in these programs. Now, they apparently now gifted these technologies and weapon systems to Microsoft financial institutions. Okay, and this is from let me see. I'm gonna read this dude. I don't know his name, but he said, from Max Williams. As a result of my experiences with Target over the many years, I now believe that we're used for multi-purposes. I believe the same thing. Think about all the areas of our bodies and minds our attackers tamper with and probe. The brain, internal organs, limbs, hands, feet, orchestrated scenarios or dreams, emphasis in many cases on sex, the program and attempt to turn our thoughts to deviant sex, change our sexual orientation, think of everything in sexual context, etc. Our balance and hand-to-eye coordination, the interrogations for V2K victims, our sciatic nerve and spinal column, even our daily habits or method of entertainment and many other areas. If I'm accurate in believing we are multi-purposed, that belief opens the doors to who might be behind our targeting, who would be interested in benefiting from those areas listed above. Something to think about. So anyway, sorry I rambled on in that first thing about people coming on uh my channel and doing that stuff. I'm thinking, I'm thinking about, you don't want to call them out because you can't prove it for sure, but I'm 98% sure these people, and you know what I do? A lot of people you can actually, if you have YouTube, if I see somebody commenting or trying to take advantage or being mean to one of my TI subscribers, uh, that's trying to, give input and tell what's going on to them, they make a nasty remark, I delete it and I ban them for even commenting, and I'll continue to do so. Just please be on the lookout. I noticed it this morning. The reason I haven't called their names out is because you can't never be 100% sure, but they're I'm trying to think of how to put this, and I really don't have the words to say right now, so I'm not gonna say nothing at all. Just please watch out. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen right now, and I'm gonna stop recording. God bless all TIs.